Welcome to another episode of KOKO PODS. This time we have a Katie Burdon. Again, a good friend. And again, I say that a lot. But we just finished the convo. Very fun. We sort of swim through the ocean of human nature. We talked about religion, sex, desires, what life is. We talked about some crazy religion that we found about yesterday, and lots of other stuff. Just a fun convo of friends, recording times that I'll probably look back on in years' time and think, wow, that was don't know. It's just quite magical about where I live right now, with friends and all a bit carefree, and we're sort of just figuring life one step at a time. But regardless, I hope you enjoy it. I will be making a newsletter. That's exciting, isn't it? Obviously now I'm not on socials, so I don't really have any way to promote this podcast. So underneath the video, I will attach a link that you can click on, and hopefully you should subscribe to my newsletter. I'll be putting out, obviously, links to the podcasts, and other stuff as well. Like interesting articles that I've read throughout the week, interesting, films. Things that I personally find value in, books, etc., etc., etc. I haven't fully finished the newsletter yet, so I'm sort of talking into the future, like I have done it, but I haven't done it yet. So yeah, you should, if you subscribe to it, you'll receive an email from me once a week, once every 2 weeks, something like that, just to update you with all the things that I've been doing. And on top of that, I'm just going to ask you, if you can, you don't have to, but if you do, that would be very nice, to like my videos. If you enjoy it, just click that like button, or subscribe, or rate the podcast on Spotify. Small baby steps, but I guess I have to start somewhere, get the podcast off its feet properly, I feel like I'm getting into a proper rhythm with it now. There's a lot of work to do still on how I interview people, but that's just for me to figure out. Hopefully you're enjoying this, you're getting some sort of value out of this. If you think I should interview someone, or if you think I should do something, then you know where to find me. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope it brings some joy to your day. And yeah, podcast is starting now. I'm recording. Okay. How you feeling?
Good. I think I'm going to be quite giggly just because this is a surreal experience, what we're doing right now.
It does feel a bit surreal.
Because we have conversations every day. So this is like a whole new context of conversation.
It's a whole new context of conversations. It feels, I don't know. I mean, most of these...
I must be nervous because my breath just went...
It's funny because, most of the podcasts so far I've done is just with mates. All of them have been. Mm. And we all sort of like start chatting about stuff that, I don't know. It's quite a unique experience just sitting down and just looking at each other.
Looking at each other in the eyes.
For like a couple hours.
No, I'm excited.
Okay. Well, welcome to the KOKO PODS. Finally made it. It's a pleasure to have you on. There's a few things I definitely want to chat to you about, but mostly it's going to be free-flowing convo. Because, we've been mates for quite a long time now. Met at uni. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like that. God, that sort of just disappeared, didn't it?
It's so far away from my life right now, university.
Yeah.
All that whole experience. Lovely, cherished memories.
Yeah, definitely.
But, wow, different different person.
Yeah. You were a different person, definitely.
Mm.
I mean, we all were.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole just being at uni pre-COVID, I really feel for people that have to go to uni
Blessed that we had that experience.
now. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Going to uni and just being able to just do what you're meant to do at uni, which is sort of not much really. Just fuck about.
Go to Toast. And
Go to Toast.
Go to Toast. I'd go out with like £7 sometimes, and I knew I'd be fine.
Yeah. You actually
Imagine going out now with £7.
£7.
You spend half your money getting on the tube.
Yeah. And the other half getting back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Toast. Just a bit of context of what Toast was, because it might be a bit confusing. It was a bar called Yates, and then you'd go inside. It was like a pub but club. It was a bit weird.
So our halls was like up the road, so you'd literally walk 3 minutes down the road, and Yates was just essentially like it wasn't even like a bar. It felt like almost like a tavern.
Yeah,
you know when you see taverns on the side of the road, that's what it felt like. And it was like £1 to get in, £1 drinks, £1 shots.
Yeah, everything.
And then they just served toast.
Yeah.
That was like the gimmick.
That was the gimmick, at like midnight or wherever. They would just come up with like 6 loaves of just buttered toast and just walk around just like giving people toast. It was hilarious.
It's a great idea. I hope they're still doing that.
I hope they're still,
I really hope they're still doing that.
Probably COVID's a bit restrictive of the whole toast and butter thing.
Oh yeah,
but
they're probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
That's sad. Well, we got to experience it.
We did.
Even though I never was in halls, I went to Yates quite a few times. That was an essential experience of the university in Bournemouth. Have you been back to Bournemouth since?
No, I haven't.
We should go. No?
We should go. Yeah,
we should do like a little road trip.
Yeah. Have I been back to Bournemouth? Not the actual city.
Yeah.
No.
Go to Cameo.
Go to Cameo. Well, we always spoke about that. We always like we should all definitely go back.
Yeah.
Have you been back?
Because
you live sort of near.
I live sort of near, but I don't know. I might have, but nothing memorable. Maybe for volleyball, but what was your sort of most like memorable experience, or what things you sort of look back on from Bournemouth?
Of Bournemouth?
Yeah. Good or bad?
Oh, it's all pretty good.
Yeah.
It's all pretty good. I mean, going there was quite intense because I'd only just turned 18 when I went to uni, and everyone was significantly older than me, or felt like it at least.
Yeah, they were a year older.
Year older. That I felt much older.
But when you're 18,
when you're 18, and I don't know, because I was church Cornish girl. It was just like I got there and I was like, whoa.
You're just fucking weirdo.
What is going on? Just like, I don't know, the freedom of going out, drugs, dancing. That I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. And it's
just like the chaos of how we lived. Looking back on it, I loved that. Just like lived with great people. It was gross all the time. It was very like just chill.
Yeah.
Chill and free.
I mean, it was very feral.
Feral. That's the perfect word.
It was very feral, and I think, if someone asked me to describe you in like a few words, feral is probably one of the words I'll definitely use.
Now or then?
Yeah, now and then.
Now.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
No, uni loosened me up for sure.
Listened you up.
yeah. Just took me and went. Shh.
I mean, especially arts uni, right, where there's like 3,000-4,000 people in the whole uni, which sort of actually sounds like a lot, but it's really not. You know?
It's not. We knew everyone.
Everyone. It was sort of impossible to go in the courtyard in AUB and
not see someone.
Not see someone. Yeah.
It was just like very interconnected and nice. Like a lot of other people I know, like friends that went to uni, just didn't have that experience.
You went to like some massive uni.
Went to a big uni in London, or even just like out of London.
Yeah.
They went and just like didn't make great friends, or just like
And also, it's just like
Yeah.
what was sort of great about it is that you sort of were forced to work with other courses. You know what I mean? Because then with photography and makeup and acting and film and whatever, you sort of just make friends just because you sort of have to, don't you?
Sorry.
That's right.
Just had lunch, so I'm quite bad.
Yeah. You did make some lovely salad, I must say. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Bournemouth was an interesting experience. And I mean, I loved my last year there because I didn't do anything. I just stayed in your house for the last year.
You were like part of the furniture.
I was part of the furniture.
You were the sofa in Isaac's room.
I was. Oh my! That was a surreal year.
It was that year particularly was
So much.
Yeah.
So
Good.
high.
But loads of weed
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I smoke weed now, and I get high from a couple of takes of a joint, and I'm like,
Too much.
I need to put that down. I think about how did I function in my last year of university / first year in London, where I could go through 3 joints in an evening.
Mm-mm.
How does that work? I don't really get it.
Yeah, it was a weird.
What permanent damage has that done to my life and my body?
Well, I mean, I guess we were quite young. It's probably not a great thing to smoke when you're young, but it was part of it, innit? It's part of the life, especially part of creative life. There's so much weed in the creative industry. Everyone smokes. It's sort of crazy. It's sort of crazy. But
Well, I used to think it was just like normal, but it's not normal. That's what I've learned about becoming an adult.
someone wants to come in. Yeah, who wants to come in? Who wants to join the podcast?
Oh, fuck. I've done it again.
You've done it again.
Okay, don't worry.
You might as well come in.
Yeah, what do you want, Tim?
Sorry.
No, you might as
I
well.
wanted sandpaper.
Uh,
I thought maybe you'd have some.
yeah, I might have some sandpaper. Right,
Sorry.
do you want to replace me in chat to get you some sandpaper?
What am I going to chat
I
about?
don't know. Say something.
What have you
We were
spoken
talking about
so far?
Bournemouth
Oh, what about
University, and Tim has also been there as well.
it? I have, yeah. It was pretty good, actually.
But me and Tim didn't know each other then.
No, we didn't. No, we only met each other afterwards.
Yeah.
No,
Probably
I
a
do
good
miss
thing.
it.
Probably a good thing. I think.
Probably a good thing.
I don't think you would have liked me at university.
Why is that?
I think you would have thought I was a bit chaotic.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably a fair assessment. Although, no, chaotic's not bad.
I
Is
was
it?
on the bad end of that.
Deliberately? Self-destructively?
No.
Then
Don't
why?
think so.
How did that happen?
Wow, this got deep real quick without KOKO.
How did that happen?
Just a lot of emotional ignoring going on.
Okay,
A lot
fair.
of ignoring the emotions.
The ignorance of just being young?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Wow, okay.
This is what I've got.
That's great.
Coarse, fine, and medium.
That's great. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Okay. Thanks, both. Bye.
Bye. Intermissions. That was like an intermission, an earlier one.
Sandpaper. I can't remember what we were talking
Doesn't matter really.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. I mean, just chatting shit about Bournemouth really. I mean, just
Bournemouth.
yeah, holds a lot of good memories.
It does. It does.
It smells a bit farty. Do you reckon Tim came in and just farted and left?
I can't smell it.
Maybe it's that milkshake thing that you're just puffing on. Oh, it is that. It's not farty. It's just like sickly. Do you know?
It
do-
is
do-
sickly, yeah.
do-
It's milky.
milky. Yeah. Do you know when you get like
And like onion salad as well. It's
Yeah.
not a good.
yeah, an interesting combination of smells. Okay, I want to talk to you about well, I spoke to Ibby about this, yeah. When I sort of one of the first things I asked him was, you know, how he sort of views the world in like what light. Because every time, obviously, we have spoken about this a lot. You seem to have like, I don't know. I find your out view on life quite interesting because it's a bit contrasting from I wouldn't even say contrasting from your actions.
I would say contrasting.
Yeah.
I think a lot of my opinions are contrasting.
Because I think like you have like a. I mean, I'll let you explain it, but okay, like what? How do you feel about the world?
How do I feel about the world?
Yeah.
Sometimes really good and sometimes really bad.
Mm.
But I think that's the contrasting part of it.
Yeah. How much do you think your own day-to-day experience just influences your outview on everything in terms of life?
Oh, that's quite a hard question. Probably massively, but I don't probably think about that every day.
Yeah.
So, like, cool, there's two parts of me, probably. There's the sort of, like, part of me that's, like, a bit of a dreamer, quite naive. I'm like, cool, the world is full of love. I love nature. I love the world. And sometimes when I feel like on those days, that's probably when I've got up, done a cycle or done a bit of yoga and like feeling really good. Then there's the other side of me that's quite cynical and they bounce off each other. I don't mind that. The cynical side is probably how scared I am of what the world is turning into, and I maybe don't want to be part of that world. But I feel like there's I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And like I definitely have an idea about what I think a utopia of the world is. But I fight against that because I don't think that can be realised.
What's your idea of the utopia of the world?
The real utopia.
Yeah.
Well, it's ridiculous.
What do you think? If you could create a utopia, what would it be?
There would be no money. There would be no clothes.
No clothes.
No clothes.
Get cold though. It'd get very
yeah,
cold.
but it would be sunny all the time.
You'd be sunny, okay.
And like everyone would just wake up and like everyone would grow their own vegetables and we live in villages of like 100 people and there's no relationships. It's just like free love.
Yeah.
But like it feels quite tribal as well, so everyone has their own part of the village. So like cool, there's like the maternal women, there's the people that go out and get food, there's the people that teach, there's the people that sort of inspire with like storytelling. But
yeah,
we're not.
I mean,
that can be realised.
But the thing is, we're sort of that. We're sort of that, just on a way bigger scale and way more tangenty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, if you just, in society, people just form tribes normally, like just by naturally.
Yeah.
People form their own groups and stuff, but I mean,
I'd love to live like that, but I just don't think we can now. We don't have that sort of. We know too much. We know way too much about the world to do that.
What do you mean? Like, as in, like, why knowing too much would stop you from living like that?
Because we know too much about what's going on, like the other side of the world, and you're interested in that, and that's an amazing thing as well that you're interested in that. But that distracts you from the core aim of the tribe, or like you want to do other things. You want to you don't want to just be the storyteller of the tribe. So you're like, I want to also try the hunting one day. Now we can do that, so we have too much as well.
Yeah, we do have too much.
Or like, I want to be with this person forever because I love them, but I'm also really jealous, so I don't want to share them around. So just.
But that's more. Yeah, I mean, that's.
I'm sure people still feel like that in these sort of ways that I'm talking about, but.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's just.
I also have no idea what I'm talking about. But
yeah, of course. I mean, but like no one does. You know what I mean? This is all just like dreams and like ideas that. I mean, I'm sure there's communities around the UK that try and do those sort of stuff. There's ways to try and live in this communal space, but it always at some point just turns weird, doesn't it?
It always turns weird. Maybe it always did turn weird as well. Maybe my dream of it just working.
And maybe, I mean, the
this.
thing is, at one point in society, you can definitely see it, right? And I sort of get what you're saying about we sort of know too much, right? Because at one point, not one point, at one side, you're like, okay, you know, I really want to care just for the people around me, and they're really the thing that's important in my life. But at the same time, there's a sense of there's a in every human. I'm sure as soon as you sort of hear about some sort of injustice happening around the world, there's a natural feeling there where it's like, oh, that shouldn't be happening. You know, not necessarily like I'm gonna go and help, but there's like, oh man, that shouldn't be. It's not good to. It's just not fair.
Right.
It's not. Yeah, it's not right for. Yeah, it's not right for people to be abused around the world and whatever. But then, if you can't do anything about it at the same time, it becomes a bit of a.
It's confusing.
Yeah, it becomes a bit of a brain fart sort of thing where it's sort of just there. You're not really doing anything with it apart from it sort of just clouding your.
Just like sort of letting it affect.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you can't do anything about it, but in 99% of the time, people don't act upon those thoughts, and I think it's normal not to, because the reality is you don't care enough for some next family around the world. You know what I mean? However much they're suffering, you're not connected to them in the same way you are connected to the way we're connected to our families, to each other. There's just not the same level of care. And then obviously, I don't know, it does get a bit weird, doesn't it?
It gets a bit.
I find it all so fascinating, like charities and like all these sort of like, you know, go out and do good in the world. They're sort of, I think a lot of people definitely dedicate their lives to it, and like, you know, trying to really like fight that injustices and stuff around the world. And it is great, but I don't know, it feels, when it's forced upon you, it feels a bit
What do you mean by forced?
just forced upon you by the media and stuff, you know what I mean, or by just like activism stuff. You should care about this. If you're not doing this, then you obviously don't care about it, or you're not.
Yeah, there's like this weird fine line between knowledge is power and like
Ignorance is bliss.
yeah. Yeah. There's something in the middle there that
Something in the middle where
should work.
but we haven't quite figured it out. I think it's better than what it used to be, because I mean, there's a lot of people go out there and really like actually try and do good shit in life, and they dedicate themselves to other people's causes. But I don't know, the world's in a weird place right now. I was speaking to Rahman last time about how and I gave her this book. I think I talked about this book before, where it's called The Better Angels of Our Nature, and it's a history of violence within humanity.
Oh, this one that you said that we're actually way less violent now than we were
ever.
Like ever.
Ever. Yeah, we live
that
in
makes a lot of sense.
We're in the least violent society and least harmful society in many ways than we've ever been in. But it's so confusing because we're probably most exposed to violence now than we've ever been, in terms from news and media and stuff. And just how much it is part of our daily. As soon as something happens in the world, you know what I mean?
You're hearing about it.
Yeah, like
You're
5 people died in somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, so it puts.
Did I need to know that? Or did I need to know that?
I know exactly. Do you know what I mean?
I struggle a bit with that. Like, do I need to know this?
Do I need to know this? Yeah.
And what effect? I know this is maybe really selfish, but like, what effect does that have on
Your
my psyche?
Yeah, on your psyche.
When I can't do that much.
Yeah.
And like we're saying, you can. Oh, this feels so un-PC to be talking
but
like
it's
this.
true though.
But like, cool. I can give to a charity. I can like, sort of. I can learn about it and then maybe use that to in some sort of way to, I guess, influence my own actions in the right way.
Yeah.
But that's sort of...
Yeah, I mean, it just goes back to that fine line, right? Where it's like, there's a balance somewhere in the middle where, you can give some of your attention to it, and you can donate some money into the right places, but it just feels very odd how. But also on the other side, even though we live in the least violent society that's ever lived, right? Probably within our historical records and stuff, we're also in the most vulnerable time we've ever been, because now basically every major country has the power to completely destroy the world. You know what I mean? Everyone has nuclear weapons, and everyone has enough power in terms of like digital power to basically just like shut down all systems. You know what I mean? Could you imagine like if the grid in London stopped working, the water stopped working, the electricity stopped working? We're actually fucked. Fucked. It would be chaos immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, immediately. So it's like I don't know. Perhaps it's not that it's violent, but
it's less simple.
It's just maybe just feels like we're on the brink of just something major happening all the time.
Yeah, which I don't think is like a good place to be.
Yeah,
something's gonna happen soon. Something weird's gonna happen soon.
I mean, COVID happened. That was pretty major.
Yeah, that was major.
Yeah, still is major, but sort of a boring subject now. You know what I mean? When someone brings up COVID, you're like, it's too much. It's just too much. Like, anyway, but yeah. So one side, very positive and very
positive.
Very positive.
On the other side,
love life.
Love life.
On the other side, you're just like, world's gone to shit, mate.
The world's shit. Technology is ruining us. Humans are evil.
I mean,
so I fight between that, which I don't think is such a bad place to be in.
No. It's good to have a bit of both, because you can't be like all fairy. Everything's amazing. Like everyone's so good and whatever, or the other side as well, where it's like, oh, everyone's so evil and blah blah blah. That's also a really bad way to live as well.
Really bad, and I have leaned in that direction.
Yeah, you have. Yeah. many times.
Many a times. I'm learning to balance that out.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is in our human collective psyche, but we're just so much more attracted to bad news than good news. Just like bad.
Do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Like, just what. Just in the media, it's just like an easy example. It's just the good. Like sometimes if you like watch BBC morning news or whatever, sometimes you'd have like some kid that like his mate helped him out in school or something. It's like, wow, good story. And it's like, wow, this is so boring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But we would want to hear about like, I don't know, kids throwing kids off the tape.
Yeah. It's strange. It's really strange.
Maybe.
Go on.
This is a dark thought. We're just more attracted to that sort of darkness. Because it's honest.
It is. I mean, it is honest.
To act that violently and like...
Yeah.
To be that like... I don't know, using this random kid example. That's him being like, you know what? This is exactly what I want to do and I'm going to do it. So I think we're just attracted to honesty.
Yeah.
Or just like being authentic. And sometimes authentic is being kind of evil and bad.
In our industry, that we work in, we sort of work in different sides of it, different niches. But I guess in the marketing industry, the word authentic, whenever someone says that word,
it means the opposite.
Oh, God. Isn't it horrible when you just have like some fucking...
It means like a replica of what
authentic is.
Authentic is.
When you're just sitting in a meeting and we're having this convo, it's just like you sit in a meeting with some people and they just all chat shit to you how authentic it needs to be, and everyone needs
just
to be
looking for
natural.
like a really authentic, playful moment that you're going to capture. Just smiles, that warm lighting, just so.
But the thing is, it does go back to what you're saying, because like they know that authenticity is what people love. You know what I mean? And that's sort of, I guess, being figured out in the marketing world, where it's like, yes, I mean, it's not always authentic, but as long as it seems like it's authentic, it's fine, right? And people are attracted to that. So maybe you're right. Maybe I think we're just attracted to honesty and authenticity, and just like, I don't know.
No ambiguity. Just like no, like, yeah.
Who's that? I don't know. It's complicated because there is that of it as well, but it's hard to put in words.
Yeah.
It's hard to put in words. Whatever. Life be like that. And obviously now you got fired from your job.
I did get fired from my job.
But it was a good good reason to get fired. You were assisting a photographer for like 2 years.
2 years.
Wow, that's crazy.
Getting
Time
paid
flies.
Nothing.
Yeah, something.
Sometimes good.
Yeah, sometimes good. Yeah.
Sometimes really bad.
Yeah. But I mean, but the experience was really good.
No, it was.
You learned a lot.
It was a really great experience.
And
Amazing job. Went to some amazing places. Learnt a lot about how to run a business. And I use those things every single day now. Yeah.
I think out of you have and when I said, like, if I describe you, I use feral as one of the words.
What are the other words?
I don't know. I'll think about it. But the reason why I say feral is you're quite in tune with your, whether it's subconsciously, consciously, you're quite in tune with your natural instincts. Which
I think so too.
Yeah. I think you're you sort of maximize. You try and maximize the stuff you enjoy in your life. You know what I mean? So I think it's like, for example, with work, you haven't really tried to do stuff that you don't enjoy too much, which I think is good. I think when I was younger, I used to really like the idea of, like, oh, you have to, like, make your weaknesses your strengths and stuff, and all of that, right? But I think the older I've gotten, I've realized it's like, actually, you don't. I think if you enjoy something, right, and it's like a strength, and it's way more rewarding to just make that better than take stuff that's in your life that you're not so good at and you don't really enjoy doing. Obviously, that, there's a fine balance again, where it's like, of course, you don't want to just be like 600 pounds, like watching TV all day and just eating snacks because that's what you enjoy doing. But with you, you've had quite from the side anyway, quite like what's the word? Quite what is the word? Progressive, rewarding. That's what I was looking for. From the side, it seems like you've had quite a rewarding process over the last few years, where you've put your time and effort into.
Are we talking about just like career?
Career, yeah. And we can talk about other sides of life as well. But in career, especially, it seems like you've made great progress in terms of, like, obviously career, but like career direction as well. It's sort of just formed naturally around what you like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's one of the only areas of my life that I literally don't really worry about that much. Without sounding like everyone else, I feel so confident about the flow of how that's going.
Yeah,
and I've always have felt like that.
Yeah.
I also think I've landed some really lucky, just like met some lucky moments.
Yeah.
But
it is a combination of it, right?
I think
it's not just
that's
luck.
the most authentic part of myself is my work.
Yeah.
Authentic.
But it's almost, it seems like it seems very effortless with you. Obviously you put effort towards it, but it's not like the type of effort where you don't enjoy. You know what I mean? It seems like almost all the stuff that you do, you really enjoy, because you know what direction is going in. If there's something that you don't, something that comes up that you don't necessarily enjoy too much, like taxes or whatever, like admin stuff, it doesn't become so much of an issue, because you're not necessarily worried about your main path. So that's so clear in your head that whenever these little things pop up, they're not so much of a problem. You know what I mean? Like taxes or admin. So yeah, I don't know. You said you feel really good about your career, but on a day-to-day basis, you do freak out.
You
do freak out.
I do freak out. That's also a part of myself. I mean, my whole personality is just like always, things are always conflicting. What was the question?
Just like on a day-to-day basis.
On the day-to-day basis, how do I feel?
It's not really a question, it's just like an observation, really.
Well, more recently, since I got fired, I guess, having to deal with like the empty days, that was weird.
Just like not having anything to do in the day.
Not having anything to do in the day.
And you having to set your own tasks.
I'm not very good at setting my own tasks.
But you seem to be. You seem to do the right things. Yeah, you scan your images, you send emails, and you do the right stuff. So it
seems to be going all right.
Yeah. So it's.
But no, I do get scared of the stability. I think because I had that job for 2 years. So any money that I was making from my work, it was just there. And then when I lost my job, I lost that stability, and then it was like, whoa, this is scary.
Yeah. But it's quite it's super rewarding. Not rewarding, but it can be you can make a lot of progress by sort of either jumping on the deep end or being thrown in the deep end. You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, I don't have any stability now, so I have to make it work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think can give you a big...
Yeah, it forces you to be like, cool, I actually need to get serious about this.
Yeah. And we're sort of also like, now we've sort of reached that part of our lives, that age where it's like, whoa, like not a kid anymore, full adult.
We're full adults.
We're full adults. And it doesn't feel like that because also our lives are very not adulty.
No, not at all.
You know what I mean? Our house is just like a weird little playground.
Yeah.
So it feels...
So I do freak out about that as well. Like sometimes I have these moments where I'm sat there.
Walk in the kitchen and it's like...
I'm 25, which is crazy. I'm going to be 27 next year, which that seems crazy.
I'm 27 this year.
You're 27 this year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, a bit like...
Wow.
I could easily do this for another 10 years.
Yeah.
And then I'm nearly 40.
And then you're like, okay, and what now?
Yeah. But I think that's just a thing that all humans feel.
All humans go through. But I think it's well, I don't know, because we're so... I don't know. Even though it sort of seems normal to me sometimes, I have to realize that like so much of our bubble is quite unorthodox in terms of lifestyle. Just like freelance and quite free and not stable at all.
No.
I do. It does make me worried though, I'm not going to lie, because we're all good, healthy and chirpy now. You know what I mean?
Well, some people are like saving for houses and
or buying houses, getting married, babies and that.
And it's a constant struggle between I do sort of want that, definitely not soon, but like you need to prepare for those sort of things. That's something you actually need to prepare for in life. So when do you start preparing if you're not ready now?
Yeah, you can't just be like.
So do I start preparing in 5 years?
Or do you start preparing?
My ovaries about to be fucked then. So.
Well, for you it's even more complicated, right? Yeah, or just
because I'm a woman.
A woman, and it's all a bit.
Yeah.
Gets a bit ticky after 30.
It's a bit scary.
Yeah. After 30. I mean, luckily we've got technologies now, EVF, IVF, and stuff. So.
It's also really expensive.
Is it really expensive?
Mm-hmm. I looked at freezing my eggs once. The price. And it was something like well over £10,000.
10,000
to extract the eggs and freeze them.
And then it's like.
But you only get to keep them in the fridge for 4 years. So you've paid that money, you get to keep them for 4 years
in your own fridge.
And then after the 4 years, they just throw them in the bin if you don't pay another like I don't know $7,000 or something.
That's a lot of money.
So who has that sort of money at this age?
Yeah, I mean.
Well, some people do.
I mean, yeah. You can make that type of money, but like, I'm sure that will get cheaper. Yeah, as time goes on. Because.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I don't think it will.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the beauties of capitalism, in it, that when stuff like that happens, and if there's enough want for it, which there will be, because you got to remember, like, obviously you're talking about yourself, but I think throughout our society nowadays, most women don't want to have kids until they're like 30 something now. You know what I mean? Because that's just the way life is now. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, that can cause some issues with having babies. Yeah. So I think it might be like a big thing where it's like in the future it's completely normal to freeze your eggs, and if that happens, there'll be a big demand for it, and there'll be more companies doing it, and there'll be a big. Yeah,
you're right. That's quite a positive way to look at it.
You know what I mean? So, sucks that you got to do it, and ideally you'd have a partner where you sort of like split the money and stuff. But that's a bit of a weird thing, isn't it? Like, okay, we're gonna have a baby in 5 years' time.
Let's split the money now.
Let's split the money.
No way.
That sounds really odd.
Yeah, no.
How do you babies, man. I'm just suddenly just started thinking about babies, and
well, you have a nephew.
I have a nephew now, which feels. It doesn't feel surreal. It doesn't feel normal. But it sort of just happened, and when a baby comes into the world, it's a great clock. You know what I mean? Because every time you go and see the baby, it's like
bigger.
It's bigger,
and it's learned something.
And it's learned, and now it's walking, and now it's I don't know, and now it's doing this.
Yeah.
And now its poos actually look like poos. They're not just water.
droppings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it scares me a bit, you know. Like I'll go look at my nephew. I'm like, wow, my nephew's made so much progress. I need to keep up with
what he's doing.
Yeah, basically. I mean, you know, you do compare yourself to like. I'm obviously joking, but you have to like. Don't know. Something happens there when there's a baby in your vicinity. You're like, whoa, like I must do better. Like I must be a.
They're also so pure.
Yeah.
Babies.
Yeah.
I love babies.
Yeah.
Because they are just like the most pure, authentic thing in the whole world.
Yeah. Yeah, completely.
Careless. They're like little sponges of just like life. You can teach them anything, they'll absorb it all. And they're just happy all the time.
Yeah.
Or they're just real. They understand how to like hide their emotions or lie or just like.
Well, babies, yeah. But as soon as they start getting to that 3 years, and they understand that like if you say this, then
human things.
Yeah. But there was also that thing about kids now where it's that purity of kids is almost like the age where kids seem less pure is sort of becoming younger and younger almost because of social media and stuff. Like I was speaking to Ella's mate, forgot her name, that was here. No, not her, the other girl with lots of tattoos, and she was a teacher. Anyway, whatever. And I was talking about like year 7s, and she was like, nah, you don't understand that year 7s nowadays like don't look like year 7s. They're all like full face of makeup, short skirts, and like they're just pretending to be like way older than what they actually are. It's like year 7s. Like,
how old is he? Year 7? 14? 13?
No. Yeah. So I came when I was 14, and that meant when I was year 10. So you be 11 in year 7.
Wow.
11.
When
I was 11, I don't know what I was doing. Fucking about, setting my local park on fire, probably.
When I was 11, I had a Greece-themed birthday party.
No way.
Yeah.
That is sick.
Yeah, it was
That
really
is
good.
sick.
And my parents have the old invitation where like everyone had to wear like pink ladies jackets, and like they took me to TK Maxx and bought like a dress, and it was in the village hall, and like we were actually children.
Man,
that makes me not want to have kids, thinking about what kids are like now.
well,
It makes me scared.
it does make me scared as well, but I'm I'm hopeful in it. I'm hopeful that the kids now get the worst of it. You know what I mean? Because now it's sort of like we sort of just missed it, but the sort of few years after us, the generation where
they're in the thick of it.
Instagram
right now.
from 10 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even younger. Could you imagine that? You're comparing yourself constantly.
Yeah.
I mean, I really feel for girls, young girls. And like, I do find it quite strange, the sort of the tone of the internet towards young girls in terms of like, right now there's the movement of like, you know, embracing women to show self-love and everyone should show their bodies and that's sort of empowering.
I find it confusing.
I find it confusing. I find it fine if you're older.
Yeah.
Cool. Do whatever you want. But you go on TikTok, and I had to delete it because it started making me feel weird. Because me being a man, you just sort of, you want to look at booties and cars and not much more and whatever. Obviously more, but generalizing men. But you know what I mean? And it's suddenly like you have...
no, it's just like a human instinct. As you see something that's attractive.
Yeah,
like, that's attractive.
That's attractive.
And
but
sometimes it's a 12-year-old girl.
Literally, and you're like, nah, this is crazy. Yeah. This is actually crazy. And... like
where does sexual liberation stop? Should a 12-year-old girl feel sexually liberated? Maybe, but definitely not in this like way. Well, I don't know.
Because you came from the complete opposite, right? And the church life and like
the church.
You think like Jesus is looking over you every single moment.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Well, like sometimes you'd sit on the toilet and you'd be having a poo and you'd be like, Jesus is watching me right now. Why would he do that? Like, why?
So is that sort of like what gets drilled into you? It's like
he's always there.
He's always there.
He's always with you.
Always with you.
It's not even like he's watching you. It's
he's
like it's coated in this like he's always with you to like look after you and care for you and be there for you. Yeah. So it's not like it's not the way it's put out is not like he's watching you, so you better behave. There's an element of that, but it's coated in this like Jesus died for you, so
you better be good.
He's just going to be with you all the time. That's his sacrifice that he made for you and everyone. So he's just going to be, his hand is on your shoulder all the time.
All the time.
He's like your guardian angel.
And
But then you do stuff and you're like, what?
because obviously when you're young, right? That must make you feel really weird when you're masturbating.
Well, I didn't really masturbate until I was... Okay, let's get real.
Let's get real.
Let's get real. So I probably started watching porn when I was like way too young. Like maybe 15, 14, which is probably normal. But like I had a really weird relationship with it because I didn't masturbate. Just sort of watched it.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know what I got from it either. Just confusion, interest, curiosity.
Well, definitely, because it's not something you'd see, especially as a kid.
No, I was just like, well, this is weird. But I didn't masturbate to it. Whether I thought... I sort of stopped being Christian when I was like 13, I would say. But you'd still... I still thought about it.
Ingrained in you, yeah.
Still thought about it, like... But if this guy does exist... Don't think he does, but... He's there.
He might.
He knows what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then I think I first wanked when I was like probably like 17 or 18.
Really? And orgasm.
Successfully,
yeah. Was that crazy?
Crazy experience. I remembered the feeling to this day. I was lying in my bed in Cornwall. I wasn't watching anything, and I don't know why it worked. I think I just like was understanding my actual body more. I don't know what went through my brain, but it literally started in my toes, and I was like, whoa, I have to keep on going whatever I'm doing, and it like went like electrical pulses up my legs, through my arms, and then down through the torso. And I was like, sick, okay.
Sick. Doing that again.
That was great. Yeah, but I used to put things inside myself. God, this isn't...
Whoa, this is...
But girls do that.
Yeah.
Girls do that because you see like a mascara bottle and you're like, okay, I'm just going to...
Let's see what happens here.
Let's put it in there.
Let's put it in there.
Because that's what you're taught. You're not taught, oh, okay, you need to rub your clitoris or you need to do this and do that. It's like...
Insertion.
You need to put a penis or something inside there, and then you'll get pleasure.
And you'll feel good.
But that's not how some bodies work. Some bodies, I think you can put something in there and you can orgasm, but not me.
Yeah.
So just put things in there and see what happened. And I was like, this is weird. Yeah. And boring.
Yeah. Do you only get orgasms through like clitoris stimulation, or do you get like, can you have orgasm through penetration?
I have to have some sort of clitoris stimulation, but that doesn't have to be a hand there. It can be like rubbing.
Just rubbing,
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Just
so I figured out positions where
it works.
Stomachs rub on that area, or like you just move in a way where you know that some sort of friction is going to be happening. There.
That's why you love being on top. Yeah. Figure that out. Hilarious. We know too much about each other.
We do know. As soon as you said that, I was like, that's too much.
You said you put mascaras up your fucking watch. That's not too much.
Yeah, that's my top go-to.
That's your go-to.
Every sexual partner I've ever had will know that as well.
Yeah,
if they watch that, they'll be...
They know. Oh,
there
yeah.
We go.
Yeah. All makes sense.
Yeah.
Gosh. Do you reckon your mum's going to watch this?
Hell no. I hope not. What's your favourite sex position?
What's my favourite sex position? It's doggy, but laying. I
love that.
But it's not normal dog. It's like when you're laying completely flat on top of each other.
Yeah, no, that's nice.
I love that. And maybe if there's like a pillow. Pillow. Yeah. God, I don't know. It just feels great because then the booty is all relaxed. You feel you feel the squish of the booty, and it's all because you're like so close to each other, and you can make out as well.
Yeah,
love that. Quite like having sex like just standing up as well.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Just like against the wall or something. Yeah, very fun. I have kind of struggled with girls being on top of me though.
Really? I don't think. No, that's wrong. I don't think guys like it that much. I think guys really like being the one pumping away, so they struggle to relax.
Yeah, I do a little bit. I do. Sometimes it feels great. I just have to be in the right mindset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which I struggle with anyway sometimes. And it's just sometimes just not having control over what you're doing puts like another level of like...
Yeah, well, you're just sat there and you have to just
just
sort of think about it and enjoy it.
Enjoy it, yeah,
It
yeah.
can be challenging.
Yeah, it can be. It's weird. Also, I mean, porn as well. I started watching porn when I was really young as well. But I think just most boys do.
Yeah.
And especially because I wasn't brought up in like a Christian household or anything like that. And like there was, Christianity in the air. We got our house.
Jesus was in the air somewhere.
Yeah, no, we got our like house christened and stuff. Like,
wow, what does that mean?
well, I remember we buying a flat and then like a priest came in and then like throws some holy water on the walls and then like walks around with them like just like a bit of incense and just dings the bell and stuff. And
see, this is really cool. I love these like weird rituals because I didn't have that.
Yeah, so we had that. But my parents are weirdly like, my mum's a bit more religious than my dad, but again, not much. So that was never really pushed onto me. And also just going to a normal school and stuff with boys just chat shit about porn and dicks.
Like
and
send weird videos on phones.
yeah, I mean, there wasn't so much of that back in the day, but you do share stuff with each other. Just weird shit, man. Just like wanking together in bathrooms. Just like
That's so weird.
so weird.
That's so weird.
But it's just like it's actually like no one talks about it, but it happens all the time.
Oh, in my school, I remember someone sent around a video of this guy wanking, but another guy had videoed it, and they didn't even think about that being
It's
weird,
not-
and everyone was like, "Wait,
This is a bit weird, mate.
you filmed that?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, that's weird. It shouldn't be weird. I don't think.
No, I mean,
is it weird?
it's weird because it's kids, and
Yeah.
if only kids see it, it's not really weird. But then again, people masturbating shouldn't be weird. You know what I mean?
No. It's not weird at all.
How funny would that be if we just all sit in the living room, just like, wow, guys, should we just have a little tug?
Ew, I would hate it.
That would be. Do you know what I was thinking
It'd
about?
probably go great.
I don't know. I mean,
We get on so well, it would probably go crazy.
Yeah, it would be. I was thinking about it the other day, like, because obviously parties and stuff in our house. It would be very interesting to go to like a sex party where people just like have sex.
Like swingers.
Sure, yeah, but just like sex positive parties where you just go have fun with your partner, with not your partner, just go there, have a dance, have a little sex on the side in the corner, maybe get a blowy,
Then go home.
maybe stimulate with your fingers some lady. That sounds. I don't know. It's just one of those weird fantasies where it probably works better in my head than it does in real life.
Yeah, I think so too.
Do you think it would just be a bit gross?
I think that's maybe one of the attractions of it, of the grossness or like the
Feralness.
feralness of it would probably feel great, but you'd have to be in such a good. At least I'm still thinking about it, how I'd feel about it. It could click really quick into like, whoa,
This is.
this is not what I should be doing right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. There would
I couldn't do it with people I know.
have to be
It
completely.
would have to be complete.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
I think I'd love it to do with. Well, not necessarily to have sex with people I know, but as in like.
You go with someone you know.
We go with like. There's a few of us. We go and we all have our separate things. If we're in the same room, we're in the same room. Cool.
Do a
but-
little.
All right. That would be hilarious. Maybe we should have one in this house.
Sure.
Sure, next one. Burlesque party. Have to be half naked to come in. Oh, man. I am longing for a party again. I think I would quite like a...
Me too.
Our last one was
Halloween. Which was too much.
It was
too much.
There was way too many people everywhere.
Just far too many people that I
don't know.
Literally couldn't give a shit about.
Just like people I've actually never seen before.
Never.
You
and
know,
I'd speak to them and be like, hey.
Who do you know?
Who do you know? They're like, I don't know.
Just,
that person over there invited me. And I was like,
who's that?
Who the fuck is that? Who is that? I like meeting new people at parties. But like, everyone there was new.
Yeah, there was, I don't know, it was just too many people to interact with. And I also felt a bit ill that day. You remember, I sort of went to bed a bit early because I was just not feeling great, which is sort of a shame because, yeah, I really want to party.
Yeah, we'll do one soon.
Yeah, we'll do one soon.
Just like a random one.
Yeah.
Don't need an event.
Nah. No. None of these like Instagram groups. I think that
went too far.
Yeah.
It
was a good idea, but
it went too far. We won't make another one of those.
Here's something we can talk about. Bit of work related. Just skip the masturbating.
We were talking about sex too much, and I was like, this is going to lead into... We could sit and talk about sex for a really long time.
We can if you want. Yeah.
I don't think I have anything more to say. If I have any questions to ask, I will
Feel free.
sure to ask
Feel
them.
free. You were one of the sort of first people in terms of like art and stuff where I met and I was like, you're doing it very much... Well, actually what we were talking about downstairs about how someone can sort of make something and not think about the technicalities of it and just purely just create. You know what I mean? You were, and I've met a few other people, but you were so almost anti-technical photography stuff when I first met you that, but at the same time you were producing like really, really good stuff. So I was like, this is interesting. It doesn't have to be all like, I'm 50th shutter speed and f1.8 and light strobing at this speed with coming from 3/4 of an angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess it sort of goes back to like at the beginning, I was saying how you sort of go with your natural instinct because I guess you don't need to know the technicals to make a great photo.
You actually don't at all. You need to know the basics.
You need to know the basics for sure. And that sort of naturally comes just through doing it for sure. But I mean, I can speak for me. I definitely focused too much on the technicals when I began, which sort of good, you know. You learn a lot.
I think it works for some people.
Yeah.
Like there's some really technical photographers that's work is amazing, but that's their style.
That's just I
guess I just chose not to make the technical aspects my style.
Oh.
I don't enjoy it.
Yeah, I was going to say
I just don't. Like, I don't enjoy.
I don't think it was
learning. I know this is so. Like when I get a camera, or like I buy a camera or something. Some people are like, "Oh, I can't wait to like read the manual and just like learn all about it." And there's so much appreciation from my side for the people that love to do that. Yeah. Sometimes I wish I could do that because I think when you learn your instrument, you can use it better. But that's just not how I've just learned. That's just not how I work.
Yeah. That's good though because you're not forcing yourself to do stuff that won't necessarily benefit your work, but also there's it can change your work. You know what I mean? Sometimes just by art isn't I remember when I was in photography class, yeah, in A level and stuff. I got kicked out because I used to argue with my teacher and stuff, whatever. But I remember she showed us some pictures and she was like, "Oh, which one of these is a good photo?" And when I was young, it's like, I thought, yeah, it has to be sharp and has to be in focus and has to be all of this stuff. And there was the classic. I was like, no, it's just, what does this photo tell you? What's the story that it gives out, or what's the story behind it? Just like the most typical photography knowledge, right? But it's like, I didn't really get it for a long time. I always just used to think if a good image has to be a certain type of kind. But then being exposed to more work therefore sort of inspired me to sort of just relax and that sort of things. It just sort of just make stuff.
Focus on the feeling.
Yeah, focus on the feeling.
Or the colours.
Or the colours.
I mean, that sounds really simple, but that's literally the only thing I think about.
Is that just colours?
Colours and shapes.
Colours and shapes. Composition.
Mm-hmm.
And feeling.
Feeling. Whatever that means.
Feeling.
I don't think you go in and you're like, cool, I'm going to take this photo and I'm going to really think about what the feeling is, but you just you just like enhance that moment where you're like, I really want to take that photograph. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's sort of just happens. I don't know if I can explain that very well.
It's sort of just, if you put enough, but then again, it's put enough effort into it, but then how much effort comes naturally? And then what comes out on that other side? How much do you think, it's a bit of a deep question, but how much free will do you think we have as humans? Like, for example, how you take pictures and how you really enjoy it, and it's one of those things where it feels like almost effortless, and you feel really confident with where it's going. Do you feel like?
But okay, so I would say no to us not having that much free will, in that, like, I might disagree with myself by the time I've got this sentence out.
That's fine.
But, like, I just think
we don't have that much free will.
I don't think we have that much free will. You have, like, cool, you're born into this class, these things happen to you, that shapes you, and but is that free will? I'm about to say, like, then it's up to you how you use that to, like, make something out of your life. So is that free will?
Or does the...
I don't want to say destiny, because that's like a really...
Yeah,
word,
but I mean...
like,
but
there's a path.
Or do you think you end up making the stuff, or you end up doing something purely because of what has happened in your life? And it's not necessarily your choice what happens at the end.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
You know what I mean?
I just didn't explain it very well.
Yeah. So
like, do you do the things... If we're talking about it in just like a creative, I make these things because of things that have happened. I think.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, innit? None of us really do. But free will is one of those things where I do think about quite a lot, where it's like, I do not know what that drives me. Sometimes...
Really? I think you do.
The only real thing that I can think of is in terms of, like, okay, what drives me? Okay, I want to be happy. I want to succeed stuff. Cool. Yeah.
Are we talking purely in the world of creating?
Nah,
just life?
Just anything.
Okay.
Just anything. I don't know. I do in one sense know what drives me, but on like a deeper scale, where it's like, okay, I know that, I'm driven by, I want to, like I said, I want to be happy. I want to make other people happy. I want to just do. I want to be morally right in my own sense, you know. And okay, that drives me. But then the only thing that really sort of brings me inner peace or like happiness, it's like progress in life, just simple progress in life. When I see something just become better, or I see certain friendship develop more, or I see my work turn into this thing, or I see this podcast develop.
This is a good question. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and the woman at the beginning, she asked this question that is like a bit cheesy, but I actually thought it was a really good question. She asked them, like, what are the 5 things that you think sets your soul on fire?
Sets your soul on fire?
Yeah. What do you think those are?
What's my 5 things that set my soul...
You don't have to say 5.
Soul on fire. I mean, it can be good and bad, I guess, but...
bad?
Well, soul on fire doesn't necessarily mean to be, you know, I was burning because... I
took that more as just like...
When do I feel at my most extreme?
Just like, you're like, yeah, this is, I feel great.
Okay, in that sense. I thought you meant just like content. Feel most extreme. Oh, content.
Like your soul is just like, this is...
Ooh.
I'm living so authentically as myself right now.
5 things.
Do you know that feeling?
Yes.
I mean, like, you know, I don't know if I can explain it, but you're just like, yeah.
This feels good.
I feel really happy right now.
Oh. It's hard, isn't it? Because I haven't. I mean, being in certain social situations, like that's where I feel like I flourish quite a lot. Like around other people, I love.
Like new people, or
no, just in general. Like I enjoy. And there's a term, metta. No, is it metta? There's no metta. It's like a Buddhist term, and it means like getting happiness out of making happiness for other people. So I feel like I can get a lot out of that. I feel like I can feel like my soul is on fire when I really like when I bring happiness into other people's world. You know what I mean? I can feel really great about it. I can feel after doing like...
Don't think about it too much.
Well, I kind of have to. Like, I like, for example, when I do some more extreme stuff, you know, like the running thing I did, or like I don't know, like I've definitely struggled with happiness the last couple of years in terms of like, it's not that I've been necessarily completely unhappy, but I've struggled to reach a level of consistent happiness where I sort of struggle with my work, and my life's felt a bit stagnant in some ways, so I've struggled to feel sort of I've struggled to feel like my soul was on fire in certain moments, because I can sort of beat up myself for not doing good in certain parts of my life.
Okay.
Like, for example, like one, I mean, this is kind of mundane, but you know, just being really, really intimate with someone, and having nothing else, like no phones or nothing around you.
You struggle with that? Or?
No, like I can get
searching for that.
Yeah, no, it's not searching, but like that's one things that like I love just being intimate.
Me too.
And just being naked next to someone. It's not necessarily have to be having sex or anything. Just a sense of vulnerability and sense of being safe and there's something special there in it, just within humans that we feel, because it's such a big part of our existence, recreating life and like making babies and whatever, but at the same time there's so much that comes into that, and like we need to have faithful partners and whatever. So whenever you do feel like that's the case, and you have like an intimate moment with someone, it can feel really special. It can feel really, really special. But sometimes in those moments I do, like, I slip back into like thinking like, oh, I haven't done that thing. That's like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? So I do struggle with it sometimes. But yeah, I didn't really answer your question. I gave you a couple of...
Oh, you gave 3?
Gave 3. Yeah, gosh, I don't know. I love... I love waking up feeling excited.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I've had like maybe you've had like a few days of quite productive days, and then if I'm feeling shit or whatever, I have a few good days where I'm like trying to do my best at life and whatever, and then after you get into like a good cycle, you wake up and you're just so like full of life. Like maybe I've done some exercise or something and just feel so energized. So energized. Yeah. What about you? What sets your soul on fire?
I had more time to think about this. So, the first one that I thought of was dancing.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Just like when
I love dancing as well.
Do you know when a song comes on and like it's like this weird sort of like moment where everyone is dancing in rhythm, or everyone's dancing at different rhythms, but you're dancing. Or like what I like is when a song comes on and everyone's dancing to like the melody of it, and you've sort of synced into like the bass line of the song, and you're dancing to that, but you're just like, wow, this feels great. Or like when you're dancing with someone, there's like very particular people that I can dance with, and it's just like
something happens.
Great.
Oh man,
me and Olivia dance amazing together. Like
just feels great. Dancing is a great one. I think I've got to adapt.
Love
to
dancing.
Just like sometimes when and also I quite love like quite jumpy songs. I love like a good, exciting, hype, jumpy song.
Yeah.
If it comes on at the right time, I just lose my shit.
Yeah.
Or I want to just.
So I think that's one that everyone feels. Cycling, like when you're cycling like really fast, and you just like do some like cool moves, or like you go around a corner really fast and then you just do something else like, and it feels very like natural, and you feel like you're sort of in tune. The bike is part of your body.
Yeah.
That's a moment that feels good. When I make a piece of work that I like, I haven't achieved that for a while.
Yeah.
Which can feel bad.
Yeah.
But like, I remember a feeling of like when you make a piece of work or something, or you take a photograph and you're like, I really achieved what I wanted to say / more than I thought I did as well. Haven't done that for a while, but that's a good one. And I was going to say also sex / intimacy. Also platonic. It's like having a really nice conversation with someone.
Yeah.
And you feel like you understand each other without saying any words.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. And I forgot, for me, I've sort of forgotten about this as well. But volleyball before, back in the day, oh my gosh, like that was like bliss. Walking on a volleyball court, nothing matters.
Yeah.
Nothing else matters. I'll be on a volleyball court for 2 hours and just like sweat my balls off. Just like have to change like 3 t-shirts in a session, drink like 2 liters of water, yeah, you just, it's, I think it's when you enter that, it's like ultramarathon runners and triathlon runners and cyclists and stuff, and when they enter that, what do they call it? State of, oh damn, what's the word called? Well, you just enter the state where it's almost like, I'm sure you've had it with cycling where you're not necessarily thinking, flow state. That's what they call it.
Flow state. I've never heard that term before.
It's when you sort of like, if you're cycling or you're running or you're doing something for quite a long time or you're working, you can just get into a flow state where you almost, whatever you're doing becomes completely effortless, and you're just doing it. You become what you're doing at the time. You know what I mean? For example, if you're running, it can be a while until you reach that state where you're just completely nothing happening in your head. You're just running, and that's it. And like same happens in volleyball, because you can't think, like in volleyball, things happen so quickly that if you start thinking, you're too late. You sort of have to be
like in a very automatic mode.
Exactly, automatic mode, and that feels great. Haven't felt that in a long time, to be fair. But yeah, flow state can be absolutely blissful. I miss it a lot, actually. I miss it a lot. I need to get back into it, so I'm just sort of waiting for like an important...
Am I allowed to go for a wee?
Yeah. Do you want to, should we try and predict, do you want to predict your own future? Where do you think you'll be in like 5 years?
Let's do it.
How old do you know? 25, 30?
Are you going to predict mine?
No, yeah, no, you predict your own. Where do you think?
Where do you think I'll be where do I think I'll be in 5 years?
Yeah.
How old will I be? 30.
In this house?
Really? Yeah. In this house. Doing the same thing. I honestly, I kind of have no idea.
Right.
I don't know if I just put too much importance on these next 5 years because they feel important. I don't really know why. They feel like you really have to... We're at this age where it's like, okay, you really have to achieve, which is totally wrong. You can achieve something whenever, but I have to achieve some sort of stability / career development / don't know, something
Yeah.
over the next 5 years. Where will I be? I think I'll be a successful photographer.
Yeah, I think you will.
Maybe director.
Yeah.
I think I'll be making
good bank.
I think I'll be making really good money.
It's good.
I think hopefully I'll be making some work that feels really fulfilling. I hope. Probably be in London. That's all I can predict.
That's all you can predict.
Really. I don't see it being that dissimilar to how my life is now, which I don't feel bad about at all, because I don't want to rush into things.
No. You know?
I don't want to sit there and be like, 30, might be thinking about children. I don't see that happening.
We don't see that happening.
It'll be a thought.
Yeah, it'll be a thought, definitely.
But
imagine you have kids when you're 30.
It's just not what people do now. Is it?
30. Oh yeah.
Well, definitely not.
30s in your 20s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People do start having babies from 30 onwards. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's kind of like sort of everything's gone 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years.
I
Yeah.
mean, I could.
Yeah, don't know.
It's not like I work in a job where I have to be there every day.
No, you don't. Yeah. That's kind of the beauty of what we do as well,
So-
because we can do 3 jobs a year.
Do 3 big jobs a year,
So live life.
but there's so many things that I want to prioritize. I want to travel away more. I just want to like go out more.
Live a
I
little.
want to go to more gigs. I want to get drunk more. I want to like do silly things more.
Yeah, the thing is, that's it, because
Because once you
once
can't
it-
really do that sort of stuff when you have a kid. I know people are like, oh yeah, I just bring my kid to a gig or a party or a
Shut
festival.
up. No, you don't. Well,
It's different though.
No.
It's actually different. I don't want to.
I saw people bringing their kids up to Ali Pali for New Year's, and I was like, don't think I'll be bringing my kid here for New Year's when they're literally an infant. There's like fireworks going off, bottles flying. Yeah, I don't know. And I mean, definitely for the first 2-3 years until you feel comfortable just leaving them. I mean, you do leave them with your parents and stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
But also, like, you got to remember, like, even, you know what I mean? Got to provide him with milk as well. Can't be drinking too much then either.
No,
So it's not
you've got to
like,
be quite healthy.
got to be quite healthy even after you have the kid, not just during your pregnancy.
Yeah.
Can't be like smoking and drinking and
Nope.
feeding your kid.
Nope.
So
What do you predict for your life in the next 5 years?
in my life, gosh, I don't know. I'd really like to be doing this still. Definitely. I think this is this has been at the back of my head for so long, and I see it as a very, very long-term venture. 10 years, 30 years. I'd like to be like 40
And
and
still doing this.
still doing this, and then this to just be my passive income. Like,
Yeah.
just put it out, get a couple of sponsorships, chat to people. That would be great.
I can see it.
Yeah, and I can see it too, honestly. I can see it, so who knows? I'd like to do more. I don't know, I have this sort of idea that I'm going to move away from I don't think I'll move away from camera work too much, but it's just not where my passion is. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's weird, right? Because I'm good enough to do it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can be a camera guy, make pretty okay money, but it's not really what I want to do. You know what I mean? It I don't know, it's weird, right? Because you get a taste. As soon as you get a taste of life, your eyes open and you're like, because if I was a kid, you know, and I was sort of looked at what I'm doing now, it's like, oh my God, shooting these music videos and blah, 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 and all these things. Like, oh, that's amazing. You could do that for the rest of your life. Right. But then I get to this stage and I'm like, okay, this is cool, but it can be even cooler. You know what I mean? I can have even more fun with it. I don't know. I'd just like to. I want to be more happy for sure. I'd like to be a bit more at peace with myself.
You say this a lot.
I do. I'm not at peace with myself most of the time.
No.
I'm really not. I see myself being a bit more at peace. I see myself.
What do you think will bring that?
Don't know. Like, I have ideas. You know what I mean? And I know what brings me peace, but I can't seem to sustain it. Like, what brings me peace is just a life of rhythm. Just
Or like a routine.
Like a routine, yeah.
Yeah.
That can, but also at the same time, I think it might actually just be that. Honestly, just a route. And I sometimes I feel quite down when I have a routine and it goes out the window, and then it takes me like a month to get back into things. It feels regressive. You know what I mean? It feels like I've put myself back, but there's also, it's the thing of like, you know, you actually just have to keep trying.
Yeah.
And then it's obviously not going to work out the first time or the second or the third.
We also don't live in a world that encourages you to live in peace. Do you know what I mean? That's a bit negative, but
Yeah,
we don't.
Yeah.
You've got to have more. You've got to do more. You want more.
Yeah, but that's not what, I don't know. That's not the stuff that brings me. I don't think that's what seems to trouble my peace. I think it's just the way I live my life. You know what I mean?
But do you think it affects it on like a
It-
indirect?
Yeah, probably.
Right.
I'm sure it does.
I don't mean that we look at these things and are like, oh, you know, I'd feel way more at peace if I had that laptop.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
It's just like the atmosphere.
The atmosphere, and I think
Still
that's one of the
affects.
reasons I just stopped social media this year,
Yeah.
because I feel like I think I reached a point of social media where I just stopped appreciating life,
Yeah.
because I was spending because I don't know, I feel like I've had such a close relationships with YouTube and, you know, platforms from quite a young age. I've seen so much impressive stuff in my life, yeah, like impressive imagery, impressive sports achievements, impressive people making cars, people building buildings and stuff. I don't know, stuff that's genuinely amazing, yeah, genuinely like, wow, this is well done to you. But then it ruins real life a bit for me, because whenever, I don't know, I get quite overwhelmed with, subconsciously quite overwhelmed with these things that I see. You know, like amazing. Let's just take images, for example. I was talking to Ivy about it, how at one point stop appreciating photography, because I'll be on Instagram, see so many actually really great images,
Yeah.
but I just wouldn't care about them, because I've seen so many of them, and they're just they all sort of represent just the same thing. Like when you see so many of them next to each other, they're just an image and nothing more than that. So, yes, yeah. I don't know. 5 years. 5 years. Oh, okay, yeah. So, okay. Be more at peace. Have a bit more fun with work. I think I'd like to do a bit more presenting stuff. Yeah. Just a bit more. I'd really like to do the documentary route, but perhaps, you know, like the lure through type of stuff. Just like go and just chat to people, because I just find cameras a bit distracting, having to like work a camera and then also chat to the subject and stuff. Can be a bit difficult, but that have a new path of that happen. What else? Oh gosh, I don't know. It's really difficult.
That's a really hard
5
question.
years.
Because then you're like, things that I want or things that I think.
Yeah. Right. It's because
really
they're
hard.
very different.
Yeah.
Very different things that I want and things that I think I will have. Don't know. Whatever. It will be what it will be.
We'll be fine.
Well, I think we'll actually be fine.
Actually be so fine.
And then we watch this in 5 years, and it's like absolute chaos. It's like we have no friends. Everyone's dead.
Friends.
Oh,
Live in robots.
yeah. Maybe it might be all right.
I'm not opposed to that.
Becoming a cyborg. Yeah. Well, we sort of already are, aren't we? With our phones and stuff. Anyway. It's all a bit lost for words, actually. Where should we take this conversation? I'll let you lead.
Let me lead.
Yes.
We could talk about... We've talked about a lot. We could talk about...
How long have we been going for? Oh, an hour and a half, to be fair.
Oh, that is long.
I didn't really realise. I didn't really realise. What should we end it off with?
Ooh, okay, let's think of something good.
We can think about this. I can just edit it out.
Yeah.
Our thought process.
We talked very vast. haven't we?
Vast, yeah.
We've gone far.
We've gone very far. We haven't really narrowed down on anything.
No.
Just like
Human nature.
human nature, right?
We could talk about... There's so many themes circulating my brain right now. And
Go on. Brimstone. Let's talk about these things. Solo plus.
all I can think about is talking about films. Don't really know why, but I love talking about films.
Yeah, perhaps your relationship with art, actually, not just films.
Okay,
Yeah, just you seem to get a lot out of you seem to get a lot about films and art in general. You seem to. Do you think it's always been like that?
Yeah. I think because my parents, or at least my mum's an artist / art teacher. My grandparents are all painters. It was just like always there. And maybe I took it for granted. But it's just like people make things and that's what gives them pleasure. So it's like, and you don't do it for a reason, you do it for yourself. So that's just how I learnt to just like make things. So like, and also there's no teaching as well. So, and I remember my granddad paints like, he's like an expressionist painter. So he paints like scenes, but they're all in, or like still lifes, but they're very like quick. He applies the paint really thick with like a really thick paintbrush and it's all different colours. And I remember like we'd go to lots of like small exhibitions in Cornwall together and he would often like buy me a painting or whatever. And then I was like, cool, I want to do a painting. So I remember asking him, can you teach me how to paint? And he was like, what? There's no way I'm teaching you how to paint. Like, you don't teach someone how to paint. And he just straight up refused to. And I was like, okay. So then you learn to like, this sounds a bit douchey, but just like, I think everyone has like an internal rhythm inside them and that gets out somehow. And you harness that and put it out there, whether that's in a photograph or music or painting. And the most successful people harness that and they can put it into many different things and there's an interlinking. So like people that can create visual art, it looks like something, and then they can also make music and the sound of their music looks like their artwork. That's for me like top tier artist.
Yeah. Combining music and visuals.
But anything, or like your films look like your sketches. Or like
just bringing it into life.
Your cooking has the same feeling as your music. I know that's a bit abstract, but but that's when you really know yourself and what you want to make and what you want to say.
But isn't it that also? It's also interesting that that sort of, like you said, it sort of comes within your natural rhythm, right? Wherever you make sort of, everyone has a way to do things, and that goes about everything, right? About how we make anything. And it's quite interesting that your granddad did sort of like, was like, nah, I'm not gonna teach you how to paint.
No, because he was like, then you'll paint how I paint.
Yeah. And it's,
Which is like, you know, we get taught everything. Obviously, I've been taught photography, so in some sense, I've taken a part of that as myself, part of that, and put it into myself.
yeah.
But going back to the question, looking at lots of things, films, paintings, music, whatever the inspiration is, you look at all of it, or you just like, you're like, oh, I really like the way they've used that colour, or I really like what they've done there. And that's how you make your style, is by looking enough at something to understand all its little intricacies, and then you steal them. All the little ones.
Yeah, I mean, the best way to also the best way of creating is just that, by just finding out yourself, right? It's just doing it and see where it takes you. I mean, this is my dad obviously loves fishing, right? And then he sort of every time I go with him, he would teach me how to fish. You know, we'd go out, and my dad with years of just like struggles of an immigrant and stuff, like he'd become a bit more bitter with life, and just a bit more impatient with things. So I feel like with him, it's almost like he was trying to. I feel like when people, and this goes with a lot of things, when people just sort of try and teach you too much, or they sort of just like give you all this information and you do it with them, but you never do it on your own. You never actually learn how to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's almost like with friends, for example, like if you're constantly sort of helping someone, and there's a constant sort of like repetition where you're helping someone, your help is being seeked out, then the lesson's just never learned. You know what I mean? You never get to process stuff on your own, and how to deal with stuff on your own, which makes a big difference in life. Yeah, and I've fallen into that trap many times, and not as in like seeking out help from people in my life, but I have an obsession with like YouTube tutorials about everything. You know what I mean?
What do you mean about everything?
Just like everything. Like so like one day I'll be like, okay, like what's the best way to brush my teeth?
No.
You know,
really?
Just like
sit back like this.
You can do whatever you want. Yeah. I don't know, because they're great, right? Lessons are great, and then again, it's just that balance between doing it yourself and making the mistakes yourself, and then also being taught stuff so you don't make the mistakes other people made before you. Don't know where we're going with this. We've got one last question.
Yep.
Yeah. Have you had any supernatural things happen in your life?
I thought you might ask me this. Not really.
Nothing.
I know that's a really boring answer. Not really, no. Like religious things. That's the only thing I can think of that's even remotely supernatural.
No ghosts.
But it's not like, I don't think I believe in ghosts.
That's fine.
I don't think I believe in ghosts.
No UFOs come to visit you at night and stuff.
Nah, I think because the religious world I grew up in was so hard to grasp and so like not a reality that I search for very like facts.
Has to be factual.
Doesn't have to be factual. That's also a contrasting thing, something I believe. But yeah, no.
Interesting.
I've seen so many people bullshit about supernatural things that I just am like,
It becomes.
It's too Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
I can believe in like a spirit of someone.
Oh yeah. Isn't that the same as ghost?
Is it? Yeah. Is it the same as a ghost? I don't know.
I mean, people believe in lots of weird shit, right? That thing we found out yesterday was hilarious. We went down the rabbit hole. Yeah. Oh my days. What? Not realism.
Raelism.
Raelism. Which is mental. I might actually just. I think.
Let's do a bit about it. Let's talk about Raelism.
A quick Raelism. Side note. Yesterday we were watching The Island with Bear Grylls, and a guy takes off his trousers. So it sounds like a joke or something, isn't it? A guy takes off his trousers, and before he takes them off, he's like, "Guys, I'm like, there's a weird tattoo on my leg, like, blah 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 blah. It's not a Nazi symbol." Everyone's like, "Cool, like what?"
It actually means peace and love.
It actually means peace and love, right? It's the ancient Hindu and Buddhism sign, which is the same as the Nazi sign, but obviously.
But it was like a star.
So it was a star with the Nazi.
Is it called a David star?
St. David's star, and then it had
a swastika in the
middle. And I sort of just went online. I was like, "What is that?" Because he'd never explained. He was like, "It's not that," and he never really explained. And we went online, and we found a religion. Right, it's the largest UFO religion, and it's a thing created by this French guy called Rael. And gosh, it's crazy. So they believe in this guy had a couple of encounters with God.
Well, they believe that, or he believes that he's a prophet, like Jesus or Muhammad or Buddha, and that basically he had these encounters with this intergalactic, is that the right word? Interterrestrial species called the Elohim. Elohim. Let's just call them that.
Elohims.
And they're these aliens that are green, small, and incredibly feminine. Because you know the cartoon that came up of it? Did you see how feminine that face was? And it was a man. So we read that any Elohim creature is only 10% as feminine as the most feminine woman on Earth. So it's like this very feminine species.
The most feminine of human species are only 10% as feminine as they are. Right. So it's this weird thing of like no violence. It's all about peace and love.
Peace and love, free love.
Free love, of course, comes with most weird religions. Free love.
But also they made up all the religions.
Yeah, so the Elohim made up
Hinduism, Christianity, the whole shebang.
Yeah, Islam.
And this everything. And we're now living in the era of the apocalypse. And Rael is the last prophet.
Yep, he's the last prophet.
He's come down to tell the truth about everything that's happened in the world, and he's going to save us.
Yeah, and he's there's about 100,000 people around the world.
Yeah,
that they that follow his beliefs, and he wears all white.
All white, like this sort of 80s white puffer jacket type shoulder pads.
Yeah,
with like harem pants.
Yeah, he plays a guitar.
He played a
charming
lot of
Frenchman. Yeah, a bit of acoustic and a bit of electric.
He did.
And
they just meditate as well. They don't pray.
They don't pray. They meditate. And it's.
But they did a lot of good.
They did a lot of good. It was all very. I don't know. It's all very odd, right? Because the genital mutilation in Burkina Faso. Is that Burkina Faso, the country in Africa, quite a small country, I believe, where it's mostly a Muslim community, where genital mutilation is sort of quite sort of part of life, really. There, it's quite sad. So he sort of came in and was like, "Oh, he didn't know about it," and then they basically ended up setting up a clinic that
restored clitorises.
Restored clitorises, yeah, because clitori. Because
I never knew that you could do that.
Well, it makes sense, right? Because when a woman gets castrated, right, it's only the top of the clitoris. The clitoris, most of it is inside, right? So they just sort of poke a bit out.
They pull a bit out,
and then just
tighten a knot,
and then just like
and leave it there to
heal, and it sort of reverses the effects of it. So, I mean, that was good, but then they got shut down. They only treated 25 people because it became a thing about like, oh, you're treating people so they become part of your religion type of thing.
Yeah.
So,
which,
yes, makes sense. Makes sense, but then it's like, does the good outweigh the bad? You know what I mean? You get your clip back, but then you have to be part of this. But then again, they didn't seem. I mean, most of them seemed very happy, right?
Yeah, they did.
Most of them seemed very happy, and that seems to be the case with a lot of these alternative religions, where they seem very happy for a period of time, and then the prophet marries a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Then it's like, free love.
Yeah, and then suddenly, like, it's like, oh, free love, but
you have to.
It's suddenly like they're at a event and half the women just have their tits out and they're like dancing for him, and it's like.
And then he makes the point where it's like, well, if they want to do it, then they're free to do so, and and then he has sex with a lot of them, and anyway, who knows? He might be right. He might be the prophet, but he believes his dad was an Elohim, and his dad was also Jesus's dad, so he was Jesus's half brother.
But what's confusing is that Jesus's dad is himself, because Jesus is Jesus, God, and the Holy Spirit.
It's the same thing.
It's all one.
Yeah, but maybe we've got it all wrong.
So
he also
so the spirit of
Elohim.
Oh, it's so confusing.
But also, so we're all artificially created. All humans are artificially created by the
Elohim.
By the Elohim. And on that note,
at moments I was like, I could get down with this.
Yeah, definitely. Me too.
I could get down with this.
Yeah, I could live like this.
I could do that.
But I mean, obviously, once you have people that buy you a nice house on a beach somewhere, because they believe that you're the prophet, and then they start giving you money, and all you have to do is just wear a white tracksuit and play some
sort of questionable acoustic guitar
songs. And then just say things.
It's a lot of receiving.
A lot of like, all right, we've all come here today to, instead of me telling you how you should live your life or you should listen to me, we've come here today to listen to my silence. Do you remember that? Where you just sat in a room and he was like...
That woman was like, sometimes he doesn't even need to say something. You can just like, you look at him and you just feel his like warmth and community. Humans
are fucking crazy. You know what I mean? We try to make sense of the world in so many different ways. Sort of amazing, really. Because there's like over 6,000 recognized religions in the world. Crazy. That's one of them, I guess. Raelism. Sweet. That's that.
Good end.
That was a good end.
A good fact.
Okay, well, thanks for being on.
It's okay. I enjoyed it.
We'll do one again. Hopefully, we'll do one on the 5-year mark.
We'll do one on the 5-year mark.
Yeah. And in between as well.
Maybe one in between.
Yeah, in between. Anyway, Thanks for listening. Tune in next time.
Over and out.
Over and out. I like that. Okay. Bye. Oh.